Hi guys, my name's Erin Smitley. This is my second semester in the Nutrition and Dietetics dietetic internship option here at EIU. So to start off, a little bit of background information about me. I completed my bachelor's degree at Southern Illinois University in Carbondale, and I graduated last May. I was actually born and raised in this fun town of Charleston, and I've lived here all my life, minus the few years that I was in Carbondale. I live in Mattoon now, but I'm still back in the area. If anyone has any questions about the town or the surrounding area, please feel free to reach out and ask me. There's not much to do or see in these little towns, but whenever you live in a place for your whole life, you make the most out of it and you find the best things to do, and my favorite part, the best places to eat. The one thing that living in a smaller town, and even Carbondale too is a smaller community, has done for me is given me appreciation for little hole-in-the-wall restaurants and pubs. I'm definitely not scared to walk in a place that looks like a little dump on the outside and eat, because those places it really end up being like the best places ever. Like even when traveling, I went to Ireland this last summer, and even when traveling, I was like attracted to those places. So I'm like for sure that comes from being from Charleston. So yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and ask me. I could probably point you in the direction of doing something sort of fun. So yeah. I have two puppies. Their names are Juno and Jax. Juno is on the floor sleeping right now, and Mr. Jax is helping me write this video on my lap. I don't know if you can see him. Yeah, Juno is about 1.5 years old, and Jax is about 4 months. So they definitely keep me busy while I'm in school and working, to say the least. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is about me. I hope they don't start barking in the middle of this video, because I really don't want to have to redo it. So I'm going to hope there's no squirrels outside for that Juno can go hunt for, because that's what she likes to do, is run back and forth to the windows and hunt squirrels. So yeah, a little bit more about my background in academics, because I've had four majors, including nutrition and dietetics, and I still somehow managed to get out of Carbondale in only 5 years, so I was pretty impressed with that. So I started out as a biological sciences major, and then I completed 3 semesters in the regional nursing program through SIUE, Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville. This program offers an option on the Carbondale campus, so I was still able to stay in Carbondale. And then after I realized that nursing school was not for me, I knew I still had a strong interest in the human body, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So I just knew that I couldn't really waste any more time in the nursing program, because it wasn't going to lead me to where I wanted to be. So I switched back to a physiology major, and I was researching. I knew that I was more interested in preventing disease and illness rather than kind of patching it up after damage is already done, which sometimes I feel like that was kind of all I was doing in nursing school, which is certainly not what like nursing's about. I love nurses, I have so much appreciation for them. Nothing bad against them, but sometimes I just felt like it was almost putting a band-aid on somebody's situation instead of like digging to the root cause or even preventing it. So that's just my personal interest of research, and that's not what happened in nursing school all the time. So I switched back to a physiology major, and I kind of realized whenever I was switching majors, I was also making like personal changes, like through food choices, cooking, just overall wellness. So like throughout these, I started to feel better personally. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have to research nutrition-related disease prevention. And like, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, I had no idea that a registered dietitian was a career. I had no idea that nutrition and dietetics was even a major you could major in at this point. I was a junior in college. It was my 3rd year in Carbondale. So yeah, but I just knew that I was related to like disease prevention and researching how nutrition can be a part of that. So I called my academic advisor and asked about a minor in nutrition, and they told me that SIU didn't offer a minor. So, but they offered a major. So I was like, well, what in the heck can you do with a major in nutrition and dietetics? So I went home and I researched careers with a bachelor's degree in nutrition and dietetics. That's whenever I stumbled upon the career of a registered dietitian, and I am so glad that I did, because the next day I called and I changed my major, and I haven't looked back since. So So yeah, and then I got out of Carbondale, and then I moved back to Central Illinois. So the first question, what do I think it means to be a leader? First, I definitely believe that a leader should act as a role model for followers. Hello, Jax. He is laying on my keyboard. Okay. I think a leader should be a role model. So a little quote that comes to mind whenever I think of a good leader, and that quote is, "Actions speak louder than words." In so many circumstances, I can remember, like, somebody that was in charge of me or leading me telling me what to do, but then they weren't acting upon their words. They weren't doing the things that they were telling me to do, so then it was, like, not very motivational, or didn't, like, make me excited to be doing these things, because it was like, oh, okay, whenever I'm in that position of a leader, I'm not going to have to do these things ever again, so I don't really want to do them now. So I definitely think that leaders should still act on the words that they speak, and still, like, be a person that a role model or a follower can look to see what they should be doing. I think it's important for a leader to, like, instill some motivation, determination, and confidence, and just, like, lift followers up so that the followers can respond, like, with their highest potential and be the best followers that they can be in the role that they're doing. Leaders should influence others towards achieving a vision or a goal. A few characteristics and behavior traits that come to mind when I think that would describe a good leader. I think they should be, like, inspirational, honest. They should be compassionate. They should not only care about what they're doing, but care about their followers too. But because if they care about what they're doing, then followers are going to see that, and then in turn care about what they're doing. So they should be passionate. They should be flexible, willing to work with followers, willing to change their course of action to make everybody achieve success or reach their highest potential. They should also be accountable and reliable. These characteristics should speak through themselves throughout the leader's actions. And they should also have, like, good communication skills, good decision-making skills, the ability to, like, empower others, and the ability to inspire followers to want to achieve that success or achieve potential. I believe that good communication and decision-making skills are huge in a good leader. If a leader doesn't have clear and assertive communication, followers will most likely end up confused or frustrated or just down on themselves. It's really important for a leader to be assertive without being aggressive in their communication, because that would not be inspirational or motivational for followers. I'd probably just beat them down a little bit. But they can't be too passive either with their tone of voice, because they need to, like, speak confidently and confidently knowing what they're talking about for followers. So these decision-making skills go hand in hand with communication skills. If a leader can't make decisions, then they'll lack the ability to communicate clear messages. But on the flip side, if a leader has really good communication skills and decision-making skills, then they'll be confident, which will that confidence will shine onto the followers, and then it will also allow for clear and straightforward communication. So if followers are able to see a leader confidently making decisions, it will, like, enhance their trust within the leader and allow them to have more confidence in themselves as followers. So I have two examples of leading and following. The first is an example of whenever I was a follower. So I've been a pharmacy technician for 4.5 years now. In the pharmacy, we typically don't see the most upbeat people because they're, like, sick and tired, or they're about to pay an arm and a leg for a medication. So whenever they get there and they get that high copay, or they're told their medication's not ready yet and it'll be another 15 minutes, I typically don't get the best responses from people. There's a lot of negative attitudes in there. Especially this can be true whenever you're the new guy and have to be patient. People have to be patient with you, like both customers and coworkers. So, like, in my very first pharmacy job, I went home for the first, like, 2 weeks just so down on myself, feeling like I just got yelled at all day long. I was like, why did I sign up for this job? Sign up for a job that I'm getting yelled at for 8 hours. But if it weren't for the leaders at this job, my two pharmacists and the lead technician, I definitely would not have lasted, because they were just like, it's really easy to get frustrated and annoyed with someone new who doesn't know what they're doing, but, like, they would just calmly explain things to me over and over again until I understood. They also just, like, even encouraged my smallest successes. So, like, after getting yelled at and you do, like, one little thing right, even though it's not huge, it was nice for them to point that out so that I didn't get too down on myself. But their calm nature and then their positive reinforcement helped me gain the skills and confidence to like finally learn my job. So now anytime there's a new person in the pharmacy, I'm like the first person to be like, hey, yeah, good job, you got it, or just like explain something to them with a smile on my face and like encouraging encouraging tone of voice. But the second experience I have is a leadership experience. During my undergrad, in that short time I was a physiology major, I was interested in research and was offered a teaching assistant position for the anatomy cadaver lab. I had taken this course 2 years prior as for a prerequisite for nursing school, so I was a little rusty on my knowledge of human anatomy, and so it was going to be a fun semester. I was going to have to really learn things, but I still wasn't like completely confident in what I was going to be teaching these students. Luckily, we had a partner as a teaching assistant, so there was 2 of us, and he was getting ready to go off to medical school, so he was really sharp on his human anatomy. But the thing about him was that he didn't speak very good English, and he was really shy and really quiet, and he didn't necessarily lead the students through their quizzes, their practical exams, as well as like voicing what they should be doing this like during this class period, what they shouldn't, like teaching them like laboratory procedures, different things like that. So we kind of worked really well together because his strengths were my weaknesses. But this was like my first leadership position, and I wasn't confident in the knowledge of like the subject area I was about to be teaching these students. But then at the same time, I was confident in my ability to lead and communicate clearly with the students throughout the semester and give them directions like for laboratory procedures, etc. So this was a really humbling experience for me because you want your followers to be able to trust you fully, and it's kind of difficult to gain followers' trust if you don't completely know the subject information. So I just had to speak with confidence and speak clearly at all times, and if I wasn't confident in answering their questions, I would say, okay guys, let's, I'm not completely positive on this answer, so let's take out our anatomy books, we'll try and find it in the book and then locate it on the cadaver, and then if I still wasn't sure, I would just say, okay, I think this is it, but I'm not completely positive, so I'm going to refer to the other teacher that was there to make sure that you guys have correct information to be able to do well on your quizzes and practicals. So throughout that, it was clear that I had still gained the trust of the students because they would still continue to come to me time and time again, despite like sometimes me telling them, hey guys, I don't know. I think this is because I was able to like make appropriate decisions if I didn't know the answers and communicate with them that I didn't know the answers. And so then that allowed them to trust my judgment, trust my personal judgment on the matter. So this goes back to like the honesty characteristic of a leader as well. It's important for leaders to be openly honest so they can gain trust from their followers. And then throughout both of these, I've learned that a good or bad leader can make or break the follower. I've also learned the importance of a leader getting to know their followers so they can pick up on nonverbal attitudes and feelings and then adjust their leading style to help the followers succeed. And then also so that they can help bring out their highest potential. The last question is, do you feel more comfortable or confident in a leader or follower role? I would say that I am more comfortable and confident both in the role of a leader. Whenever I'm like introduced or given a new task to do, I get really nervous that I'm going to mess it up. I know that like failing is inevitable and that we're all going to do it and it's part of the process, but just for some reason, no matter how many times I go through this, I get so nervous whenever I'm trying something new or expected to do something new. So, like, whenever it's expected to fail the first time or not expected of me to do it right, it works out perfectly fine because I really like constructive criticism. So that works, but then just like depending on the situation, I'm typically like scared to death to mess up and I get really nervous doing things on my own for the first time. I can think of a time for that is like whenever we were doing our first nursing school test outs in the nursing lab. I had a piece of paper and there was like 25 directions on how to properly put gloves on, and then we had to go and we had to put gloves on in front of the teacher to do this. And I don't know about you guys, but putting gloves on, it doesn't seem like a 25-step process, so I was like so scared that I was going to mess up. But then once I did it in front of the teacher and did it right, I was so confident doing it from there on out. So it's just like I've like had so many successes whenever, but I still don't lose that nervous feeling whenever I'm learning something new. So working on being a more courageous follower is something I want to continue working on personally. Um, so I'm definitely really excited to learn more within this class, learn more from all of you guys as classmates, from the learning materials, from Miss Malding. I really think that it'll help me become both a better leader and a better follower so that I can achieve successes in all of the different situations, if I'm in a situation where I'm a leader or a situation and I'm a follower. Just being able to like bring out the highest potential in myself. I think that I'll learn a lot from this class. So I'm looking forward to a great semester with all of you all. Thanks for watching.